This is Ashley Wilson, and my student number is WIL159036000, and this is my Nutrition Assignment 1 resubmission. So first of all, I need the recommended daily allowances of all the vitamins and minerals. So for vitamin A, the daily allowance needed intake is 0.7 milligrams. Vitamin B is 40 milligrams. C is 1 milligram, and D, there's no needed intake, but obviously you will still take some in through food. E is 4 milligrams, and K is 0.001 milligram a day. And now moving on to the minerals. Zinc, you need 12 to 20 milligrams. Calcium, you need 1200 milligrams. Potassium, you need 1 gram. Sodium, you need 5 to 10 grams. Magnesium, you need 5 milligrams. And then finally, iron, you need 18 milligrams. And then now linking all 7 nutrients to a marathon runner and a weightlifter. So first of all, a marathon runner macronutrient percentage would be made up 70% of carbohydrates, mainly complex because they need to slow release energy, but they still need a mixture because obviously they're running a race and doing different things, so you need a mixture to be able to get both types of energy. An example, they will need slow release energy so they can keep going the whole race and then not have to slow down at the end because they're running out of fuel, or use the protein fuel that's not very good for the body to use. So they're mainly used slow, but fast release carbohydrates will also help for like the beginning of the race or just day-to-day activities. The weightlifter's macronutrient percentage will be 55% carbohydrates. More simple because obviously theirs is all explosive, powerful movements. Still a mixture though because they're still exercising, but more simple than the marathon runner. For example, these would use like simple carbs just before they're about to lift, so they have fast release energy, helping them be explosive as they can. They can lift as much weight as they can, which is obviously their goal. Moving on to protein, a marathon runner would have about 15% in their diet, because obviously they still need to help the muscles recover after races, but they don't really need, not trying to get bigger, maybe like the weightlifter. They're not really trying to get much stronger, maybe in their legs, but not trying to build weight. So theirs is more just to recover. For example, muscles will be sore after the race, so they still need protein to help repair them and get more against the fatigue, but yeah, mainly just for repair. On the other hand, a weightlifter would need 25% protein in their diet, because obviously they'll still be recovering from hard training sessions, but also to try and get them in the anabolic state to help them get bigger and stronger, obviously because they want to be able to lift as much as they can. For example, this would benefit them as this could make them lift more. The stronger they get, obviously the more they can lift, so the more they're in the anabolic state and the more they're building muscle and becoming stronger, helping their sport. Then the final macronutrient percentage would be 15% fat for a marathon runner. It's been lowered because there's less chance of weight gain in, and they don't want to put any weight on because obviously that makes the race harder for them as they're having to carry more weight. But obviously they still need fat in their diet because it's still a fuel for the body, and obviously a marathon runner will need a lot of fuel, and the body still needs to function. An example of this would be like thermoregulation, and if they didn't do this properly, this would affect their performance really bad. So it's important they still have a bit of fat in their diet. The weightlifter would have 20% fat of macronutrients. Still don't want to put fat on, but they wouldn't be as bothered if they did, and the fat and the protein work together to put them in the anabolic state. Then this can allow their muscles to grow. And obviously they still do a lot of exercise, so it might be used as a fuel if they did some aerobic training. So yeah, the example is just working with protein for anabolic state to get them as strong and as big as they can get. So obviously that's what they want. So now moving on to vitamins and minerals. A marathon runner would want vitamin B as it's full of energy, and it could help them go through like all of the race rather than feeling good just at the start. So for example, like extra energy at the end of the race to maybe give them a sprint finish to beat that other opponent. The second vitamin they would need is vitamin D, as it helps bones and there'll be constant pressure on their bones as they're running, because obviously impact injuries could happen from hitting the floor. So a good example of using vitamin D would be to lower the risk of injury on their bones, going through all the pressure over and over again. One of the most important minerals I think for them is zinc, as it helps remove carbon dioxide, which will help stop fatigue, and that will make them be able to go on higher intensity for longer not feeling as bad. So an example would just be stopping the pain during a race to keep them going. The final mineral for a marathon runner would be calcium, I think, as it helps the muscle contractions. So it could help them keep the same sort of pace. So an example would be keeping the same stride pattern, which would help their efficiency, which is a big thing in a race. If you can keep going at the same pace, it's good in your head as well because you're happy with how you're going. Obviously, they still need every mineral vitamin here as the daily intakes, but I think these two are the most important of each for the marathon runner. So the most important vitamin for a weightlifter, I think, would be vitamin B as well, because it helps them with explosive movements, because they're using all the energy they've got to just do as big as lifts as they can. So an example would just be going up to a heavier weight, but eating more of energy and vitamin B or whatever to just help them do that more explosive big lift they want to do. The second most important vitamin is vitamin D as well, I think, because they have different pressures on the bone though, because obviously they're putting more weight on top of their weight, makes it hard for their body. So for example, like when they lift their weight above their head, it's also putting weight on pressure on their bones and their legs. So I think it's good to have stronger bones all over the body for the weightlifters. The first mineral I think is important to them is calcium, as they have to make huge muscle contractions to lift heavier. So obviously an example would be just pushing up the weight and their muscles being able to contract better and more, helping their strength and how much they can lift, which would benefit their performance because they're able to beat their opponents by lifting more. The next mineral I think is important to them is potassium, because it helps their nerve impulses, and as they don't want to put their body on the line and cause injury, it will help them, for example, stop an injury. If they're lifting too much, their nerves might be telling them this is too much to lift, so it'll stopping them getting injured, benefiting performance because they can still train and things like that. The next nutrient I'll be talking about is fibre. Fibre's not like the others, because the amount of fibre that an athlete would require each day is at 18 grams, so the normal daily intake. This is because it's just not digested, therefore average intakes are all that is required, so there's not any difference between sport on that one. Then moving on to the final nutrient, the seventh nutrient, which is water. So both athletes would require a higher water intake, because obviously they're exercising. But for an example, a runner would probably need 4 to 5 litres a day, maybe even sometimes more, depending on what they're doing. This is because they exercise for such long periods of time, and obviously they're sweating the whole race, because their body's thermoregulating, so they need to get more water in to help them keep going, so they don't get headaches or things that can affect their performance. So yeah, an example would just be thermoregulating, and if they didn't have enough water in the body, they wouldn't be able to do that, so they couldn't cool down their body, making them have to stop or just not being able to run anymore, which is obviously a massive impact on their performance. And then the next thing for a weightlifter, they'd probably be more like 3.5, 4 litres, so still more than a normal intake, because obviously they're still exercising a lot. But the difference with these is they're doing a very high intensity exercise for a short time, so it still causes the body to sweat because it's still under a lot of pressure. So an example would be like they only do maybe one heavy lift, but they're giving it their all, so then they're just their body's having to thermoregulate because it's getting really hot trying to do that one thing as hard as it can. So then it's just different ways they burn water. But the runner burns more because obviously they're doing it for longer, but the weightlifter would still need more water because they're doing exercise a lot. Right, thank you for watching.